much protein do you need? Do you need to eat meat? What are the best things to eat to have a stack of energy? Questions that are asked every day by millions of people around the world. And as an exercise professional and as a personal results coach that I've been all of my life, obviously those questions get asked on a regular basis. So here's a great question. What do you need and what do you like? So I'm outside with my dogs and we had a bit of a situation yesterday. Dogs eat meat and I live in the South Island of New Zealand where there's lots of rabbits. And 4 of my rescue puppy dogs yesterday caught a rabbit and they ate it. They thoroughly enjoyed it. All 4 of them shared the rabbit equally. And they didn't need to have too much processed dog food in the evening because they'd eaten this fresh rabbit during the day. Now, I'm not sharing that with you. If you're a vegan vegetarian, that's not going to be a great story. But for dogs, it was an awesome story. And surely that's how we should live our life. What do you like to eat? What don't you like to eat? If you want to have a stack of energy, the things that I always ask, a stack of energy, perform at your best, love what you see in the mirror and get the results that you want from your eating and exercise plan, surely the start of that is that you eat what you like. Because if you're eating food that you don't like, or if you want to eat food but you can't have it because you think it's bad for you, so you feel stressed that you can't have it, or if you eat it you feel guilty, surely there are things about food that aren't appropriate. Then it comes down to how much do I need? When should I eat? What are the best things to eat? And I always go the opposite direction. If you're really fit and strong, isn't it possible that your body will tell you what you need? My dogs yesterday, they worked on instinct. They chased a rabbit and they ate it because that's what dogs do. So what is your instinct? And if you listen to your body, is it possible that it will tell you? So we get caught up in percentages of macronutrients and how much protein per kilogram of body weight do I need. And there's a big argument around the world about that. There's a big argument about whether you should eat plant-based protein or protein from meat or animal products. Well, what if you don't like meat from animal products? What if you just love animals and you don't want to eat them? Then can you eat food from plants that give you enough protein? And of course, if you have a look at the longevity, and surely that's a great standard of living, and I heard a great quote yesterday, that the way we age is determined by how we feel about aging. So if you're scared of getting old and if you stop moving and if you treat getting old as a horrible disease, then of course that's how you're going to age. But the oldest people in the world, and if you have a look at the blue zones where the oldest people live, literally the places in the world where the most 100-year-old people live, they all eat differently. So for example, there are a group in Southern California in Loma Linda, they're Seventh-day Adventists who are vegetarians or vegan vegetarians. Now that's interesting because I was brought up as a Seventh-day Adventist, and there were some Seventh-day Adventists who ate meat, and there were some who didn't eat meat, just plant-based foods, and there were others that were vegan vegetarians, and yet they live the longest. The reverse of that, we were in Sardinia initially, and we're at the pub in the afternoon, and there were some really old people there because Sardinia is a blue zone. The oldest man in the group was 103, so these guys at the pub were aged between 80 and 103, and they were fit, healthy, strong, lean. They still worked full time. They just played soccer in the afternoon, and they were having a pizza, a glass of wine. They were smoking cigars. They were about to, and this is the beautiful quote that I always share, the 103-year-old man said, "I'm going home to make love to my wife." Now, if you have a look at that from a quality of life point of view, they're still working, so they've still got a purpose. They're still healthy, fit and strong, so they can still play soccer, they can still dance, they can still invest time with their friends at the pub in the afternoon, and they're still making love to their wife. Surely that is the definition of a successful life, isn't it? At 103. And they certainly weren't vegan vegetarians, and I'm pretty bloody sure they weren't counting their protein grams, and they weren't counting their fat grams, and they weren't working out their percentages of macronutrients. They were just living their life to the max. So rather than getting caught up in the can't have, mustn't have, don't have, shouldn't have, how much, when should I have it, how about get fit and get strong and then live your life your way to the max, just like my puppy dogs. And I've got really happy, healthy dogs who eat protein, but they don't mind eating, and my dogs will eat apples and they eat carrots and they eat chocolate and they eat biscuits. They just love food, and I want to live my life like that, loving my food. How about you? So if you want to live your life to the max, get fit, get strong, have a strong, healthy endocrine hormonal system, and wake up every day with a stack of energy, performing at your best, love what you see in the mirror, and get the results that you want so you can live your life to the max. What do you reckon, puppy dogs? Woohoo!